Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time to do a tier list of every single card coming out later today for Audiopocalypse, the latest mini-set from Hearthstone. We'll be streaming it live today. I think I'll stream it by regular time, around 4 p.m. Pacific if you want to come hang out. We're going to try everything out, the new duel stuff, play the new cards, probably check out the achievements. That'll be over at twitch.tv/Zeddy, as well as I'm announcing the 2 giveaway winners of full golden mini-sets out of my pocket. Thank you guys to everybody who entered. And we got pretty close to 70K, not quite there. So I have one more winner for a regular mini set. They'll be contacted. I didn't want to shortchange you guys completely. And I will have the 69,420 sub giveaway announced next week. I want to give you guys, a little break about hearing me in a giveaway every single day. I'll give you a break for like a week, okay? Then we'll have that big giveaway. So stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff coming. But let's take a look at our tier list. Basically, we rate S through F, S being like a god tier auto-include card, and F being like basically an arena card you don't really want to put in your deck. There's also a copy of this template below if you want to fill it out and rank the cards how you think they are. And let's start off with the Abyssal Bassist, a 7-mana 4/7 taunt lifesteal demon for warrior and demon hunter. It costs 2 less for each weapon you've equipped this game. So basically you've equipped one weapon. It's a 5-mana 4/7 lifesteal taunt. That is good, I think, on its own. And then, it can go down to 3, then 1, then 0. It works with cards like Sword Eater, things like that. It's been confirmed by the dev team. I think it's pretty solid. I don't know what it slots into, but I think it's a B-style card where, a taunt with the lifesteal is a heck of a lot better just with a regular taunt. And that's a lot of stats where I might even want to bump this up. You know what? I'm going to bump it up to an A. I really do think it will have an impact. We have Ambient Lightspawn, the priest card that I revealed. That was amazing. 4-mana 3/4 elemental finale and overheal. Give another random friendly minion +2/+2. So you gotta have another minion on the board. You really need to finale this to get it started, and then you can overheal from there. Again, really kind of win more. And we had a card like Guff back in the day with Druid, which is so much easier to get off, and that card never really worked out. I'm gonna give this a C. I don't see it happening, but there are some people that are really high on the card, so I'm curious to see if I'll be wrong on that one. Next, we have the Backstage Bouncer, a 4-mana 4/5 taunt beast for shaman and warrior. It has a battle cry, transform a friendly minion into a copy of this, so you can just turn a totem into another 4/5 taunt, Piranha Swarmer, or a cheap minion in warrior, and you can hand buff this in warrior in particular, and then just copy something up. I think it's a really solid card. It's almost like Faceless Summoner, like the thing that copied another minion. You got 2 rushers, and then you get 2 big taunts. I'm giving this an A. I think this could slot into either shaman and warrior. I think it's just a really, really good card. Next, we have Blood Tree. It's a 5-mana 2/2 Druid Warlock minion. So currently right now, you can play a Death Skimp, 0 mana, you get a 1/1. For this, you gotta get 5 health for +1/+1 in stats. I think it's F tier, unless there's some crazy synergy to go with it. It's not worth running and just cheating out a token. 1/6 of your health right away. And the breakpoints on it are terrible. 2 health. It's really easy to kill in standard and wild. I just think it's a bad card. And Regis gave it a 3, so I'm really curious to see what magical thing he's got up his sleeves for that one. We have Cold Feet, a 2-mana paladin Deathlight spell, Frost spell. Enemy minions cost 5 more next turn. A lot of people really hyping this up, comparing it to Rebuke, but Rebuke sucked. And again, minions, it can be nice. I think this card is a discover card. I think it's gonna be really frustrating when you school teacher in particular, and then all of a sudden you're locked out that way. I don't think this is being hard run by Deathlight or Paladin. It could be a tech option for sure, but I see it more as a created by option. I'm giving it a C. A C for cold, I guess? I don't know. Anyways, we have Cool Ghoul, a 4-mana 3/1 undead as Divine Shield and Reborn. It's for Deathlight and Paladin. I think it's really good in Paladin, really sticky, works really well with Jitterbug in particular to, cycle your draw. It's just hard to remove. You got to get rid of Divine Shield, kill the minion, it gets Divine Shield again, then do damage. I think it's really good. I'm giving it an A, but I do think it'll be mostly in Paladin. We have the Costume Stinger, a 1-mana 2/1 Hunter and Mage minion. At the end of your turn, draw a secret. It's just like Peasant that tutors a spell and you're guaranteed to get one draw unless you've drawn all your secrets, right? Like, that's pretty ridiculous. But the asterisk on this, there's no currently like playable secret deck in Mage or Hunter, and I don't see this card putting it over the top. If this was Wild, I'd probably put this as an S tier card, because like Secret Mage, hello, even like some Secret Hunter list would run this. But because it's standard, I'm still gonna give it a B, purely on just absurd power level, but it doesn't have a home right now. Otherwise, yeah, it would be an A or an S, because that much power for one drop is pretty silly. Next, we have the Dance Floor, a 2-mana location for Paladin. It has 2 uses, and it gives your give your minions rush, all of them. It's like animated broomstick for 2 mana. Doesn't come with that body and all that, but still, I think this is a really darn good location. You could play it in Pure Paladin. One of the big weaknesses of Pure Paladin is catching up on board when they fall behind. This can absolutely allow them to do that, besides relying like solely on Liadrin and like big Paladin decks. You can use this to like get your Kangor to trade in and do all sorts of stuff. I think this slots into a ton of Paladin decks. I'm giving it an S, probably gonna be overrated, but hey, every time we've seen like everything get rushed for cheap, it's been pretty darn good. We have Dead Air, a spell for Deathlight. Destroy your undead, re-summon them. Really janky, really weird. There's no non-triple rune deck that's any good right now. This is certainly not going to put it over the top. I'm going to give it a C. I just don't see what you're doing with that right now. Like, Rainbow DK just isn't a thing. We have Deafen, a rogue and priest spell. It's a shadow spell. Silence a minion. Combo, also deal 2 damage to it, reminiscent of Earth Shock. Priest is better silence. Rogue, I don't think cares about the silence. I don't see Combo Rogue making a big comeback. I am giving this card a C. We have Doomkin, a 6-mana 3/4 Druid Warlock card. Battle Cry, take one of your opponent's empty mana crystals. So the stats suck on this minion. It's really anti-fun, but Druid can ramp into this, right? They can Wild Growth, they can play their 4-drop, they can also tutor it with that, can't remember the 5-drop's name, I'll put the picture on the screen, but there's some ways where you ramp into it, you play it, and then you have way more mana than your opponent, and then just go off. There is some possibilities for this card. I think I rated it really poorly originally, and the more I think about it, only in Druid do I see it seeing maybe some play. I will give it a B. I don't want it to be good because it's just really, again, not very fun. We have Elite Tauren Champion, a 5-mana 5/5 neutral legendary finale, start a rock duel. Players must spend all their mana each turn or else they take 8 or more damage. So you play Hot Potato with the spell that's added to your hand, and it goes to 10, then 12, then 14, until somebody can't spend their mana perfectly. They blow up. The meme should be really solid. I don't see this being all that great, even those aggressive decks. Playing a 5-mana 5/5 just isn't good enough, and they will probably do more damage in the long run by just playing on curved tempo. And there's a lot of decks that just curve out well, and even those aggro decks, they top out pretty quickly because they run low end. They might float the mana and take the damage, so there could be some real like bombs blown up in your own face. I'll give it a low B. I see some possibilities with it, but overall I do think it's probably a meme. We have Fanboy, a 2-mana 2/2 priest druid minion. Choose one, give a friendly minion +2 attack and rush, or +2 health and lifesteal. I think this card's really solid, particular in priest, being able to give that minion lifesteal, especially if you've buffed it with like your location already. Lifesteal, healing is just hard to get in priest. The problem with this, of course, being you got to stick a minion, which is also hard to do in priest. In druid, I don't know as much, and the rush option can be nice to give yourself like something to trade up with a little token. I'm gonna give it an A. I do think this is a really solid, flexible card, but definitely more in line for priest. We have Fan Autumn, Lord of the Opera, a 30 mana 15/15 taunt lifesteal. This card's cost is equal to the amount of cards in your deck. So you've drawn through your whole deck, it costs 0 mana. You play the Jailer, it costs 0 mana. I think you could cheat it out with Thaddeus, but I'm not entirely sure if it overrides the, this card's cost is set type of thing. Even if it does, I still think it's way too slow. Like, yeah, if you play with a Jailer, you're probably, if you survive that turn, you're gonna win because you have a taunt well, not so much a taunt, but you have a lifesteal minion with 15 attack that can't kill, but overall you're probably winning anyways. You got like cards like Mal'Ganis and things like that. I think it's ultra win more with the current card pool, so I'm gonna give it a C. I think it's a meme, but my god, we got a 30 mana card. That's really cool. We have Fiddle Fire Imp, a 3 mana 3/2 Warlock Mage Demon. Battlecry, add a random mage and Warlock fire spell to your hand. It's some value, but I don't see major Warlock running this. It's like the body sucks. Imp Warlock doesn't care, and the Fire Warlock spells in particular aren't very good with, like, I think it's Hellfire, Arson Accusation, and like Immolate. Like, there's just not much, and you probably don't want any of those, especially as mage. You gotta ping your own face to utilize the execute one. I'm gonna give that one a C as well. We have Funnel Cake, 1 mana Priest Druid spell. Restore 3 health to a minion and its neighbors for each one overhealed. Refresh a mana crystal so it nets out to 2 if there's no discounts going on, and you can put it on your opponent's minions to gain mana. You can do that as well. Don't know where it's going to pop up. I don't know how it's going to be used, but this cheap of healing plus mana cheat, it's got to see play in some way. I'm giving it an A. I think it's a good card. I just have no idea where. We have Grim Totem Buzzkill, a 4 mana 4/5 Battlecry, discard a weapon to draw 3 cards. Every class could draw cards like nothing outside of maybe Priest. Are you gonna run like that Priest weapon that discounts your hero power to try and hit this? No. And I just feel like it's basically only drawing 2 cards. You're discarding 1. I don't think this card's very good at all, even in the weapon decks. I'm actually giving an F. It's crazy today's Hearthstone. I'm going to give a premium status minion that could draw you 3 cards an F, but I just don't see it seeing realistic ladder play. I just don't see it. We have Hidden Meaning, a 2 mana secret for Hunter. When your opponent ends their turn with no mana, summon a random 3-cost minion. So the way I think this works is secrets can't activate on your turn, so it should be ready to attack when it's been summoned. I could be wrong on that. Regardless, I don't think it's worth running secrets in Hunter right now. And again, you're relying on your opponent to spend all their mana and all of that. I think Wandering Monster is just a better secret in general. I'm going to give it a C as well. We have Hollow Hound, a 6 mana 3/6 undead beast for Hunter in Deathlight. It has lifesteal and rush, and it also damages minions next to whomever this attacks. That's 9 healing if it hits 3 things, or if it's been hand buffed in particular with Deathlight. There's like, you know, Harmonic Metal. There's ways to hand buff, and just Hunter as well. They don't have Dire Frenzy anymore, but you can use like your location. You can use a biscuit on it. I think this card's really good and gets slotted to like Big Beast Hunter. It gets resurrected by the legendary spell. I could see Blood DKs running this. I think it's a very solid minion, a lot of healing, and the artwork is just phenomenal. I will give this one an A as well. I think it will pop up in decks. We have Horn of the Windlord, 6 mana 3/4 Paladin Shaman weapon. Wind Fury, whenever your hero attacks a minion, set its stats to 3/3. It's like Prince Tareem, kind of the weapon. You can kill whatever you want, or you can push like 12 damage. But for 6 mana, over like 2 turns, not really worth that so much anymore. This is a killer arena card, but probably a pretty mediocre ladder card. Another C for me. Jam Session, a 2 mana fire spell for Shaman and Warrior. Give a friendly minion +3/+3, deal 1 damage to all other minions, overload 1. This is an easy S for me, just for Warrior alone. Fits into in Rage Warrior, you get a big buff, you get another Whirlwind activation, get your Anima going, get your Imbued Axe going. It just does everything that deck wants to do. It's really good already, and it can slot into other archetypes if you really want, just for that buff, that AoE. Incredibly good card, and Shaman has access to it, but I don't think they're going to be using it all that much. We have the Jukebox Totem, a 2 mana 0/4 Mech Totem. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Silverhand Recruit. Even Shaman may be running this in Wild. Standard could run this as well. In Totem Shaman, certainly a possibility. Just it's a 2 mana 1/5, like that can snowball. It gives you tokens, infuse stuff if you want. I think it's really good. I think it sees play. I'm going to give it a B. Not quite at the other power level as cards, but definitely a ladder capable card. We have Magatha, Bane of Music, a 5 mana 5/5 minion. Battlecry, draw 5 cards, give any spells drawn to your opponent. Incredible in like an Unholy DK that currently only runs 2 copies of Brave Strength and Plague Strike, like you don't mind giving one up, probably drawing like 3-4 cards with that, or 5, and maybe you're milling your opponent and they can't utilize that card as well as you. You're developing a 5/5. I think this is an S tier card. I think this goes into a ton of decks that run a lot of minions and don't mind giving up the odd spell here or there. It's super solid. We have One Hit Wonder, a 2-mana 2/1 undead for Rogue, Rush combo, gain Poisonous. Absolutely insane arena card. I don't think it makes the cut in current Miracle Rogues. I don't think Combo Rogue is good enough, but effectively 2-mana Assassinate, right? Like it's a decent card. I'm gonna give it a B. I bumped it up from my initial reviewing, but I don't know if it actually hits any current deck lists. We have Plagiarizer, a 3-mana 4/3 pirate for Rogue and Priest. Battlecry, get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck. Probably more viable in Priest than Rogue right now. There's not really Burgle Rogue stuff going on. They don't care about this type of value. I don't think Priest does either. I will give this a C. Definitely a solid arena card. We have Popular Pixie, a 2-mana 2/3 minion for Druid. Choose one, refresh your hero power, or your next one costs 0. I think it's flexible enough that you play it. It's a premium statted minion, unlike Tour Guide. It fights for board a lot better, and they're always kind of lacking early game in those Druid decks to try and survive. It doesn't mess with any pools. I'm gonna give it a B. I think it slots into certain Druid decks. We have Remixed Dispenso Bot, a Mage Mech, 4-mana 4/4, gains an extra effect in your hand that changes each turn. So you can either get 2 random Frost spells, 2 random mechs, 2 coins, or 2 random Mage Secrets. I don't believe they play them. I think they just go into your hand, which is not that great. And the Mage Secrets aren't great, but getting 2 mechs and Mech Paladin's great. Getting the coins can be quite good. And I think getting Frost spells on average is pretty solid. I think it's a decent Mech Mage card, and that's probably about it. And even in Wild, I don't think it's consistent enough to rely on getting those 2 coins to run in Quest Mage. I will give it a B, a low B, but I think Mech Mage can utilize that pretty well. We have the Remixed Musician, a neutral 3-mana 3/3 rush, gains an extra effect in your hand that changes each turn. So it either gains Divine Shield, Poisonous, Lifesteal, or Wind Fury. Again, a good arena card. I don't think you're ever hard running it, but pretty much all of these are great upsides. They're all really solid, but in today's game, I cannot imagine you hard running that in your deck. We have Remix Rhapsody, just like the other ones. You get a random effect for it, 5-mana Demon Hunter spell. So it deals 3 damage to all minions no matter what, and then you can draw 3 cards, give your hero +5 attack this turn. You could deal 3 damage twice, so 6 overall, or summon a 5/5 demon. I feel like there's just better, cheaper AoE options in Demon Hunter right now. It's a solid, good card, and I think it will see play at some point. I just think there's better options, but I will give it a B, because like none of these are awfully bad. Even +5 attack could be that lethality you're looking for in certain situations. The Remixed Totem Carver, a 3-mana 3/2 shaman minion that basically will summon a different totem in each situation. Either a Flame Tongue totem, a Mana Tide totem, a Jukebox totem, or a Stereo totem. So I think this goes into Totem Shaman. All those are pretty good. Some will draw cards, hand buff, fight on board, and you can kind of go from there. And I think Totem Shaman has been a pretty good deck for quite a while. I don't see why you wouldn't put that in that deck. Again, I'll give it a B. It's a pretty narrow minion in terms of its usage, but I do think it will slot into those decks. The Remixed Tuning Fork, a 2-mana 2/2 warrior weapon, which either allows you to discover a taunt minion. It can be like a cleave, hit all like 3 minions. It can gain 5 armor or gain +2 attack, which will stick around for the next turn. Power creeping on War Axe, 2-mana War Axe. I just don't know if it competes with like the Imbued Axe spot, right? That card's so insane. Do you really want to play this weapon? It's good. You get value, you can get armor, you can just clear stuff. It seems really solid. I just don't know if it makes the cut, but maybe more in the like menagerie list that don't really go Imbued Axe. I could see it going in there. Again, another solid B card that could certainly see some play. We have Reverberations, a Warlock Mage spell. You summon a copy of a minion. Each one dies after taking damage, so you can copy your own stuff. You can copy a big threat and just ping it, and you get your own big threat that's got to get damaged to be killed. You could go like spell damage shenanigans. There's a lot of potential for this card. Mage is going to play it one way or the other with Empathize the Maxitude. They're going to discover it no matter what. I see some shenanigans with it. I don't know if it's a hard run card, but I will give it a B. You know, even copying like a big Death Rattle minion, you get that too. Can be really darn good. We have Rhythm Dancer Riza, 5-mana 3/5 Demon Hunter and Rogue mini with Rush. After a hero attacks, return this to your hand and set its cost of 1. Way too slow in Rogue. I don't think they ever run this. In Demon Hunter, you can cheat it out a little bit. You can like tutor it with your draw spell to rush minions. You can have your 1-mana hero power to, you know, utilize it more, but it's got to trade into something with like 5 or less attack to get that value. I actually think it's pretty bad. I think it's a very low C. I don't think it sees play in either class at the moment. It's just too slow, too clunky that it might not gain value, and I just don't see it working out quite yet, at least. We have Speaker Stomper, a 4-mana 4/4 tradable minion, Battle Cry. Enemy spells cost 2 more next turn, comparable to Cult Neophyte. Double the cost, double the disruption, less stats, so overall just a 4/4. Does have that tradable upside, can be disruptive. These cards have historically always seen play. I'm gonna give it a low A. We have Star Power, a 5-mana mage hunter. Arcane spell, deal 5 damage to a random enemy minion. Repeat this with 1 less damage. If it was just like not the random minion, I feel like this could be a pretty solid card, but you can't reliably target what you want. It's pretty expensive. Hunter can scale this with the whole arcane spell package, but overall, I see it as another Infatize created by option for mage more often than not. I'm gonna give it a C. Next, we have Through Fell and Flames, a 0-mana Fell spell for Warrior and Demon Hunter. You give them in Rush, Finale, and +1/+1. Just think about this in like Anima Extractor, going from a 1/4 to a 2/5 immediately with Rush. That's gonna buff your stuff, can do other things. You could throw it on literally any minion for no cost, and you can put it like Lady Astheno. There's possible shenanigans there. I'm giving it an A. I think it's very good, and it's never safe to sleep on 0-mana cards. We have Tough Crowd, a 3-mana demon for Demon Hunter and Rogue. Outcast, return a minion to its owner's hand. Rogue, I think, is better removal than this right now. If this was 2 mana, I think I could see play. At 3, I feel like it's too expensive. And honestly, it might be a nerf to Outcast Demon Hunter. And like Illidari Studies, as it's more of an expensive option that, you know, can like clunk up your hand a bit. You have to outcast this to get value. Otherwise, it's a 3-mana 2/1. I don't think it's very good, even though the effect is particularly strong. I'm giving it a C. And lastly, we have the Yelling Yodeler, a 4-mana 3/4 undead for Hunter and Death Knight. Battle Cry, trigger friendly minions death rattle twice. Princess Oran is crying in a corner. This scares me with cards like Naval Mine or just any cheap death rattle. It's pretty cheap, pretty flexible. I'm giving it an A. I don't know where it's popping up, but I could see it seeing play. So there we go. My tier list. Not a lot of S tier cards, but a lot of A's and B's. There's going to be a lot of cards, in my opinion, that you can build around, flex around, put into different decks. And all the C cards, they could very well see play at some point. I think this mini set has a lot of potential for creativity. It looks really fun and flavorful. It just doesn't look outright broken, which I can welcome, as there's just a little bit too much broken in the game as it is. And who knows, I'm probably wrong about all of it. It's all busted. The game's chaos. And well, tune into my stream later today to find out. We'll have our day 1 patch review tomorrow with my initial thoughts and everything going on in the game. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.